Imagine the world as a giant pyramid. Most people live at the wide base, they follow the crowd, they work jobs they don't love. They trade time for money without questioning why. At the very top is a small group. These are the leaders, the creators, the investors, the people who see the world differently. You may think everyone can climb to the top, but in reality only a few will, not because the door is closed, but because most never look for the door in the first place. The crowd asks questions like, what if nobody worked regular jobs? Wouldn't society collapse? These questions keep them stuck at the bottom, because instead of searching for opportunities, they search for excuses. Wealth starts with mindset. If you believe life is only about working for others, that's the life you'll live. If you believe you can rise above, you'll begin to see paths others ignore. Think of North America today. Millions of people rush to college, take on heavy student loans, graduate and chase safe jobs. They follow the same formula: study hard, get a degree, work until retirement. But look at the statistics. So many still struggle with debt. So many never find freedom. Now look at the people at the top: entrepreneurs who built businesses, investors who put their money to work. They saw the pyramid differently. Instead of asking, what job can I get? They asked, what problem can I solve? What value can I create? Who can I lead? When you see the pyramid this way, you realize the game isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out on the passive path. We talk about freedom, not just making money, but earning a ticket into the upper levels of that pyramid. And once you hold that ticket, the climb becomes possible. Ask yourself this: are you following the crowd at the bottom, or preparing to step into the world at the top? The real shift begins when you understand this. Most people will always stay at the bottom, but you don't have to. The crowd runs on autopilot. You are not the crowd. The path to the top begins the moment you decide to think differently, to act differently, to believe you belong among leaders. The door is open. The only question is, will you walk through? A leader is not defined by a title. A leader is defined by influence. People follow because they believe in the vision, not because of the position on a business card. There are three kinds of people: those who chase fame, those who chase money, and those who chase both. The last group often becomes the most powerful because they understand reputation and wealth go hand in hand. To build wealth, you must learn leadership. It does not matter if you want to be an entrepreneur, an investor, or even a content creator. If you cannot lead people, you will always stay small. Leadership is not about knowing everything. It is about knowing what truly matters. It is about making decisions when others freeze. It is about holding steady when others panic. Think of Steve Jobs. He was not the best engineer, but he knew how to bring vision and people together. That is why Apple shaped entire industries. Think of Michael Jordan. He was more than a player, he demanded greatness from his team. That is why the Chicago Bulls became a dynasty. Leadership requires courage to be different. Most people prefer safety. Leaders accept the risk of standing alone. They understand progress comes from breaking patterns in North America. Many chase management positions, but real leadership is not about authority, it is about responsibility. If your team succeeds, you share the credit. If your team fails, you take the blame. The market rewards leaders because they solve problems. Others avoid. A CEO earns more than an employee, not just because of skill, but because they carry the weight of decisions that shape the future. Every step you take toward leadership pushes you closer to financial freedom, because leaders control resources. Leaders attract talent. Leaders shape opportunity. Ask yourself, would you follow you? Do your actions inspire trust? Do your choices create momentum? If the answer is yes, you are already on the path to leadership. And once you step onto that path, wealth is never far behind. Most people live by the rule of the crowd. They do what everyone else does. They study the same subjects, they work the same jobs, they buy the same houses, they follow the same script, but following the script almost never leads to wealth. The script was written to keep you comfortable, not free. Think of the job market in North America. Millions line up for the same corporate roles, thousands compete for every promotion, and when layoffs happen, the crowd realizes how fragile security really is. The wealthy choose a different path. They look at the same world, but they see opportunity where others see limits. When people say it cannot be done, the wealthy ask, how can it be done? Look at Elon Musk. While the crowd doubted electric cars, he built Tesla. While others thought rockets belonged to governments, he built SpaceX. He refused to follow the script. Or think of Sarah Blakely. She didn't invent clothing. She reinvented it. She turned a pair of scissors and an idea into Spanx. and became the first self-made female billionaire in America. Contrarian thinking creates wealth. Because money flows to people who solve problems in ways others ignore, ask yourself, where are you? Following the script too closely? Are you taking on debt just because everyone else does? Are you chasing promotions instead of building equity? Are you waiting for retirement instead of creating freedom today? Every great fortune starts with one decision: to stop thinking like the crowd, to start thinking like the few. The crowd runs east, the wealthy walk west, and that single choice makes all the difference. Your attention is your most valuable resource. Where you place it determines your wealth. Most people waste it on noise. Endless conversations about sports teams, celebrity gossip, discounts at the grocery store, arguments on social media. None of those build wealth. None of those move you closer to freedom. High performers treat attention like money. They spend it only on what multiplies returns. They choose conversations about business models. They ask questions about investments. They think about scaling skills and building networks. Think about your own day. How many hours disappear on distractions? Compare that with the hours you spend on growth. If the ratio is unbalanced, you already know why results are limited. In North America, the culture of busyness is everywhere. People check their phones hundreds of times a day. They binge entire seasons of shows on weekends, yet they say they have no time to learn, no time to build, no time to lead, but time is not missing. Focus is missing. Imagine redirecting just 2 wasted hours each day. That's over 700 hours in a year. Enough time to learn a new skill, enough time to start a side business, enough time to change your financial life. This is why the wealthy outsource tasks that drain attention. They hire assistants. They pay for services that free their time, because every minute saved can be reinvested in growth. The poor cut costs, the wealthy cut distractions. Ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped chasing noise? What would happen if every word you spoke, every choice you made, moved you closer to freedom? Attention is currency. Spend it on what matters. Learning is the greatest luxury the wealthy can afford. Not cars, not watches, not houses. The true luxury is having time to study and think. Most people spend their energy on survival, paying bills, covering rent, keeping up with credit card debt. At the end of the day, they are too drained to learn anything new. But the wealthy design their lives around learning. Warren Buffett spends hours reading every day. Bill Gates takes weeks off just to think and study. They treat learning as an investment with the highest return. Education in school is limited. It teaches you how to follow rules. Self-education teaches you how to create rules. The internet has placed a library in your pocket, but only a few use it for growth. Most use it for distraction, scrolling, arguing, consuming without purpose. Imagine if you replaced half of that time with reading about money, studying how businesses are built, learning the principles of investing. Your entire life would change in just a few years. In North America, millions take on student loans for degrees that don't lead to freedom, yet almost none spend even a fraction of that time learning about money directly. The result is predictable: high, debt low. Freedom knowledge compounds like interest. The more you learn, the more doors open, the more opportunities you recognize. Wealthy people pay for access to knowledge. They buy courses, they attend seminars. They hire mentors because they know shortcuts exist. When you learn from those ahead of you, if you feel stuck right now, start with 1 page a day. Start with 1 podcast on finance instead of 1 episode of television. Small shifts compound into big changes. The less time you think you have to learn, the more important it is that you start learning today. Learning is not optional. It is the foundation of every fortune. Weak leaders fear talent. They hire people less skilled than themselves because they believe it makes them easier to control, but in reality, it limits the entire organization. Strong leaders do the opposite. They search for people smarter than themselves. They invest in those people. They create an environment where top talent thrives. Bill Gates built Microsoft by surrounding himself with brilliant minds. Warren Buffett runs Berkshire Hathaway with only a handful of trusted partners. They prove you don't need thousands of average workers. You need a small group of exceptional ones. Cheap labor looks affordable on paper, but it costs more in the long run. Low performance, high turnover, endless training, energy wasted fixing mistakes. Great talent looks expensive, but it saves money and multiplies growth. A top employee can create the value of 10 average ones. A strong partner can open doors that money alone cannot. In North America, many small business owners hold back from hiring strong people. They worry about paying higher salaries. They fear employees will learn their methods and leave. This mindset traps the business in mediocrity. Smart leaders think differently. They know knowledge grows when it is shared. They know investing in talent is the fastest way to scale. They know the right circle is more valuable than any single skill. Ask yourself, who is in your circle? Do they challenge you? Do they push you forward? Or do they hold you back? Your future wealth depends on the people around you. Choose them wisely, because no matter how strong you are alone, your circle decides how far you can go. Wealth grows fastest when you give before you take the insecure hold back knowledge. The secure share it freely because they know opportunities multiply when trust is built. Generosity creates influence when you invest in others. They want to work with you, they want to follow you, they want to build alongside you. Think about mentorship. The mentor who shares lessons saves the student years of trial and error. The student succeeds faster and later opens doors for the mentor in return. Everyone wins. In business, the same principle applies. Pay for the meal first, offer help without expecting anything. Be the one who gives more than you take. People remember it, people respect it, people repay it. Many fear generosity because they focus on short-term loss. They see the cost of giving and forget the return of loyalty. But the wealthiest leaders in history prove the opposite. Their generosity built empires of influence. In North America, you see it in networks of investors. They share deals with each other. Because they know one opportunity shared often returns as 10 opportunities later. The more you give, the more you grow, because generosity attracts trust, and trust is the currency of leadership. Ask yourself, do people see you as a giver or as someone who always calculates what they can get? If you want wealth and leadership, choose generosity first. People follow actions, not words. A leader cannot just talk about discipline. A leader must live it. If you want your team to work hard, they must see you working harder. If you want them to stay focused, they must see you focused. If you want them to commit, they must see you commit first. In families, the same rule applies. Children copy what parents do, not what parents say. If you spend recklessly, they learn reckless spending. If you save and invest, they learn discipline and responsibility. In companies, the effect is even stronger. Employees take cues from leadership. A lazy boss builds a lazy team. A consistent boss builds a consistent team. Sports give us clear examples. Great coaches don't just call plays. They model preparation. They live the values they preach. That is why athletes trust them in the toughest moments. Military leaders do the same. They lead from the front. They carry risk before asking soldiers to. That is why soldiers follow them without hesitation. Wealth works the same way. People invest in leaders they trust, and trust is built by example. Ask yourself, would you follow you? Do your daily actions inspire respect, or do they show excuses? If your behavior is worth following, opportunities will always come, because influence belongs to those who prove it with action. Money is not the final goal. Freedom is the goal. Most people chase luxury items. Cars, watches, vacations, but these are not freedom. They are expenses that fade quickly. The wealthy know the real prize is time to think. Time to learn, time to live on their own terms in North America. Consumer debt traps millions. Car loans, credit card balances, 30-year mortgages. They create the illusion of wealth, but they chain people to endless payments. True wealth means the ability to say no. No to work you dislike, no to clients who drain your energy, no to trading hours for dollars. Imagine waking up and choosing how to spend your day, not because of money, but because of purpose. That is the real destination. This is why the wealthy guard their time more than their money. Money lost can be earned. Again, time lost is gone forever. The true luxury is the freedom to decide to spend a day learning, to spend an afternoon with family, to spend energy building something meaningful. Ask yourself, if money was no longer a problem, what would you do differently tomorrow? The answer to that question reveals what freedom looks like for you. If you want to build wealth and leadership today, start small, but start now. Think differently from the crowd. When everyone else looks for jobs, look for problems to solve. When everyone else spends, look for ways to invest. Prioritize learning. Set aside time each day to study money. Read books on business. Listen to interviews with investors. Learn skills that increase your value. Focus on conversations that matter. Talk about opportunities. Talk about strategies. Talk about growth. Remove endless gossip and noise from your life. Build a strong network. Surround yourself with people who challenge. You people who are smarter, people who are more disciplined. Your circle will decide your ceiling. Lead by example. Work harder than your team. Stay consistent when others quit. Show discipline with money and time. Others will follow your actions. These steps are not complicated, but they require commitment. Do them daily. Do them consistently, and the results will come. On the passive path, we believe freedom is possible for anyone who chooses it. If you are serious about building wealth and leadership, start applying these lessons today. Like this video, subscribe to the passive path, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your future wealth begins with the decisions you make right now. I wish you luck on your journey to financial freedom and leadership. If you're ready for more lessons, feel free to watch the other videos on this channel. Each one is designed to help you take the next step. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video on the passive path.